Welcome to the UK Niner podcast, part of the Across the Pond Sports Network. Now, here are your hosts, Matt Walker and Neil Baldaugh.
Love our jingle, love the intro. How's it going, Neil? Here we are, back, episode 15, preseason starts. We've had the Hall of Fame game, we've had the Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremony, and proper football is just around the corner. How have you been, Neil?
It's been good. Been a pretty chill week, but lots to look at, lots of news, and yeah. That even the Hall of Fame game was pretty good. I hear the over under was busted by pretty much half time. A lot of the bettors already lost their money, and yeah, it was a good game. I didn't watch the whole thing; I just watched the highlights. But it was it's good to be back.
It is good to be back. Well, it would be remiss of me to not mention the fact that I've been on my silver wedding anniversary cruise with the lovely Mrs. Walker this week. It's been beautiful around Hamburg and then Bruges and back on Friday. Beautiful cities, both beautiful cities. So we've had a lovely time. And because of that, again, as it's been the last few weeks, you've done the majority of the heavy lifting on this, mate. So again, it's what you're putting together week on week is just outstanding, out of this world. So I'm really excited to get into this today. But before we do, you know what's coming first.
Name that Niner.
I never know now from week to week whether the last thing I'm trying to do is embarrass you or make you feel stupid or anything else.
I know what you're saying.
It's
all good, man. It's all good.
Anyway, let's give this one a go.
You know what's interesting about this is I even looked. I was like, should I even look and try and? But you can't. It's like, let me go and memorize all of who Elvis Gerbach played for. Let's go into it. Right?
Oh man,
if that's
you've
it,
gone Elvis Gerbach.
That was so good.
Here we go. Have a look at this.
Oh, okay. Ravens, Bears, Giants, Niners. Hang on, let me just.
Now, there's a little caveat, and for some reason I couldn't get it on the graphic. But that same 2005 season, he was also with the New England Patriots before the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, wow.
That helps at all.
Okay, but he's pretty recent. And he was mainly known for being a Bears player, by the looks of it, obviously.
That's spot on. That's a good thing to hang your hat on.
Right. So Bears player. So let me think. So Ravens, Bears, Giants for 1 year in 2016. And then Niners. So 27, 22. Okay. Are we talking you're gonna have to give me D or offense at least.
Neither.
Oh, we're talking special teams. Whoa. So we're probably talking that's the dog. Can you hear her?
I can hear the dog. She can get a guest spot if she wants.
Oh, I don't think so. I think there's some kids going crazy outside on that. Well, if that's the case, then that's got to be. If you're talking Bears player, that's going to be Robbie Gould.
Yeah,
there he is.
But good as gold. But once again, I kind of looked at that and I don't remember that. I don't remember the Giants for a year. I thought he came to us from the Bears.
Yeah, I thought he came. I wonder if he only played a few games, maybe. I don't know. I do not remember him at the Giants at all.
No. But that's courtesy of Wikipedia. So again, you kind of believe Wikipedia if you want, but that's where my sources come from. So apologies if anyone else is watching and that Giants thing shouldn't be there. But yeah, good old Robbie Gould.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm just muting me off a little bit while the dog goes crazy. The kid's just running around outside the doors, is going nuts. It's a nice sunny day here, and it's been cool. It's like the first day in the 70s for a good couple of weeks. So it's
been toasty here still. We're back up into the 90s again this week. It's been toasty.
Yeah, we had smoke from the wildfires this week. That was what got us this week. So
scary stuff.
Good. But should we get to the first quarter?
Let's do it.
First quarter.
So yeah, as is normal, first quarter is Neil's Niner Nuggets. A little bit later on, we're going to have a look. We've got to address the injury situation, but Neil is always the bearer of good news, and he's going to fill us with hope. Then we're going to have a look at the latest week of training camp, rises in offense, fallers, and rises and falls on defense, and just see how we are going into this Titans preseason game, which comes Thursday. So Neil, then, what news have we got for us?
Yeah, so I think the good news, although it took a bit more of a serious turn during the speech, I did notice, but Roger Craig finally makes it into Canton. So huge news. It's been a long time coming. I think it was a 28-year wait. I think I got my notes here. But yeah, he joined the Hall of Fame class with Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, and Adam Vinatieri. So yeah, but I know he's one of your favorites, if not,
Love the guy.
easily one of your top three, I would have thought. Yeah. So
Yeah, love the guy, and what else? I mean, what a great class to go in with as well. But what it also tells me is I used to look at these Hall of Fame presentations and kind of wouldn't know many of the players because they were kind of older. I look at these now, and we're of the generation now where the guys going into the Hall of Fame, we've seen them all play. We've
yeah.
watched them all, and I mean, Luke Kuechly, what a linebacker for the Panthers he was. Fitz, you don't need to say any more about Fitz and Drew Brees. You saw the Drew Brees speech, how much he owes to New Orleans, but also did you see about he very nearly joined the Dolphins? Did you see that?
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, lots of good stuff. And of course, the biggest thing about this guy, the first thousand. So
Yeah.
that was the thing. I mean, he really did turn things on the head for a running back, like show him what they could do. I think he spoke about how, like, when they drafted him, they wanted him more of the receiver, all-round running back, and obviously 3 Super Bowl championships as well.
Absolute legend. Absolute. What is it? I think there's just 3 guys, aren't there? There's him. There's is it Marshall Falk, and then obviously CMC. They're the only 3 that have gone
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah, that's them. So,
And when you think about
awesome.
it, the first time he did that was back in '85, and it does see. I think this day and age, if it had been those sort of stats, I think the guys would have got into the Hall of Fame much quicker. I never understand why it took them this long, and there were times where probably even Roger himself kind of thought, well, I've missed it, I'm never going to make it, but like you said, as brilliant as it was, and there were loads of Niners there, Eddie D was there, and Joe and Jerry and Steve. There was a little bit of a sad tinge to it as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. So during his speech, he revealed that he'd been diagnosed with vascular dementia. So he said he'd been like slowly, like bit of decline over like last few years, but been noticed more and more and more. And yeah, so he's been, his doctors said it was concussions from his career within the NFL. So, obviously, everything just took a bit more of a serious tone after that point. But yeah, he said everything the football given him, but also encouraging former players and families to just really look after their brain health and then seek help when something doesn't feel right. But he also commented though to how he remains so deeply connected to the Niners as well. So, and you just mentioned all of the Niners that were there. It was some cool photos and some cool videos going on.
Well, that high five with Eddie D, the emotion between them, and that Eddie D just still holds such a dear place in all those, the likes of Joe and Jerry and all that era of 49ers, because we spoke about Eddie D on a much earlier podcast. Wow, we're on episode 15 now, but how Eddie D changed what an NFL owner did and how a club was run, and that still runs deep with all those guys.
Yeah, and I was seeing as well that in the current Niners coaching staff, they did the practice wearing the Craig 33 on their back. So obviously they're representing him as well. But yeah, he's finally a Hall of Famer. And great news. And I'm pretty sure, as we spoke about last week, they'll probably retire his number this season. I would have thought.
Yeah, it seems like the right thing to do. Yeah, it seems like the right thing to do. And who knows, might it be as early as week 2 for the Dolphins game, because he had his best, that Super Bowl 19 against the Dolphins. That might fit quite well, but who knows? We'll see. But that will be amazing when that does finally happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Congrats to him, obviously. And then a quick I know we're going to go deep into training camp, but later on, but I thought I'd give a quick summary, just a quick thing. And I think it was a great week. It belonged to Brock Purdy. He ended up with 2 pick sixes. We'll talk about that a bit more, but yeah, I mean, he's just showing his skills. Some big risers. So Jordan Watkins, probably the biggest riser this week, took advantage of all the injuries to the receivers. Left guard is clearly the biggest problem we've got. Connor Colby was well ahead, but the minute they put the pads on, he fell off a cliff from what I've been reading. And Robert Jones ain't doing much better. So I don't know what we're going to do on that. We can talk about a bit more about that.
Yeah.
But then defensively, everything looks real good. I like their the new style of play. We we can talk a bit. Actually, I'll talk about that now. I know it's going later on, but the Raheem Morris defense and his fever backer.
Yeah,
Yeah, did you read about this? It's pretty crazy.
I did.
He's a linebacker, an edge, a big nickel. He can move all over the place. And Jaden Duggar's taken advantage of that, and Romello Height as well. I know we're high on him. But yeah, I mean, the secondary's being good, but I think he's just building in straight versatility into this defense. So good news, really, all around.
It'll be nice for us to play a different style as well. You know, as great as Robert Saleh was for our squad and what he brought to the defense in those Super Bowl years, it'll be nice to see us try something a little bit different and like you say, maybe we've become predictable as a 49ers defense. And who was it that was asked? I think it was it Mac Jones? Mac Jones is just great on interviews, but he was asked what the biggest difference between Robert Saleh and Raheem Sterling was. Raheem Morris. For all you US fans out there, Raheem Sterling is a soccer player in England, ex-England football player. Anyway, so Mac Jones was asked about what the biggest difference between Raheem Morris and Robert Saleh was, and he basically went, Saleh's stronger, just physically stronger. But other than that, he said about how quiet they work, the way they approach things. I think sometimes these coordinators take the head coach role and it's just one step too far for them, or that it's not the right situation for them. But for Raheem to come back into this DC role, I'm excited about what he can do with the likes of Dre and Fred and Bosa et al.
Yeah, and I think that these 5-man fronts, just to generate some pressure from the scheme, I think it's going to be. I think we're in for a fun time. I mean, it may be a bit, bit of like, going all in, all or nothing kind of thing. But I think that's kind of what's needed nowadays. I mean, you're going to match the offensive style with the defensive style, and you know what? Nothing worse than watching these defenses play super safe and watching another quarterback just slice you up. So going for it might be something interesting. So yeah, pretty just a quick summary of the training camp, but I think a good week, and I think really Brock Purdy just showed how good he is, and lots of good stuff on here.
And like you say, how good he is without his main guys in there at the moment, and giving other the old. I've often said that Tom Brady was one of the only quarterbacks that I was aware of, or I thought elevated people around him. And the majority of other quarterbacks are good if they have a good supporting cast. Now, Brock at the moment, he's got the opportunity to show, well, I can make Jordan Watkins, Jacob Cowing. There's a couple of other guys on there, names elude me, that that you wouldn't have heard of, not household names, but I can now make these guys better and give them an opportunity to make this 53-man roster.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it, but one of the coaches or player called him the layer king. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he was just laying the different levels of the ball, which has always been one of his strengths. We spoke about that before when we were talking quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But good stuff. Next thing was Debo's contract. I thought this was interesting. So the headline was $7 million, right?
Yeah.
But really, he got his base salary of 3.2, $500,000 signing bonus, but then everything else is incentives. So it's all about playing like 2/3 of the offensive snaps. 600 plus scrimmage yards, 5+ touchdowns. But I thought the important one here was like finishing top 10 in kickoff return average.
Yeah.
So maybe that signals what they've got plans for him to do. But I think it's just they expect him to play. I think he's already shown his worth. And it is nice to see that number 19 out on the field again.
It really is. It's lovely to see that, because that was the good Debo, wasn't it? We mentioned last week when he donned the number 1 jersey, it was a little bit of a diva Debo, but that genuine 19 jersey out there. And you mentioned about the kick returns. I think previously when he was with us, he was kind of our featured. Can't remember what they call it now. What they call the back, the
wide back.
What do they call it? The wide back, that's right.
Yeah.
And he was a big feature of the offense. Now, this time around, yes, he'll be involved in the offense, but if the likes, and we know Pearsall's not likely going to be on the field, well, it's more than likely not. We'll talk about that later. But maybe I need to do what Roger's doing and get my brain checked. If Mike Evans is healthy, and if Christian Kirk is out there, and if Deshaun Stribling can contribute, then maybe Debo can concentrate a little more on the return game, because he's electric there. He did it a couple of times at the back end of his first Niners stint. And if they can utilize him there more, and if he's now got this incentive as well, then maybe there are big plans in place for him on the special teams.
Yeah, I think that's just going to be interesting. And like I said, I think it'd be really nice if we could just use them as a complementary piece to all of those names that you said.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine when you've got those names out and you still got Juszczyk out there running around. You've got McCaffrey, Kittle. I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff. We're getting old, but there's still a lot of stuff coming out in the press over here. It's like you don't want to play this team if they're fully healthy. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. First joint practice and preseason games coming up. So joint practice with the Titans this week, and then our first preseason game on Thursday. I think the main thing here is I won't be surprised if we don't see any of the established veterans playing in this
No.
game
No.
with the injuries that's going on. I think I'm more interested in seeing like some of the, like you just said it, I mean, just a few minutes ago, it's like the rookies and the backups, especially that left guard position, and then
Yeah.
how like Romello Height and Grace Halton and they're doing. And also like Jaden Duggar, I think he's come along. I think he's took opportunity as well. There's lots to see, but I wouldn't expect too many of the starters to see the ball, if at all.
You generally don't. Game one of the preseason, you're right. It's, if anything, they might get a series, but not even that. I don't think in game one. It's more likely to be game three where we see them a little bit more there, just a week before the regular season. But at the same time, like you've said, the fact that we've been a bit more involved this offseason, looking at the new guys coming in, looking at the depth pieces, it'll be really interesting for us now this year to see, well, okay, if people do go down, what have we got? How is Romello Height going to be? What is Jack Jones and Jaden Duggar, like you said, on defense? Jordan Watkins, can he make a splash in his third year with the Niners? It's it'll be really good to see, and I'm really looking forward to seeing quarterback Rourke because he's opened some eyes in the camp as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think it's be interesting. I mean, I mentioned to you there was talk about, because of all the injuries, cancelling the joint practice, but I think you're going ahead from last time I heard. But yeah, just don't expose the rest of your stars to injury and just we'll see how it goes. But as you say, I mean, it's only a 3 preseason game now, so like a few weeks.
Schedule,
so
yeah.
so it is. So yeah, I don't expect to see anything. So yeah,
Just that graphic on the screen though, I do like them throwing back to the old Oilers colorway.
yeah, it's
Kind of
they're
nice.
kind of fresh, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they do. They look good, but it just reminds me of I'm not even going to try and remember her name. The coach of the Houston Oilers, Jerry Glanville. Can you remember Jerry Glanville?
Yeah.
Wow. So the battles he had with like Sam White and the Cincinnati Bengals, and I remember one quote from there was a game between, I think it was Houston. No, it was Cleveland against Cincinnati. That's a completely different thing. But I love this Sam White's quote was we don't behave like that. You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati, and all those sort of that time in the 80s with the Oilers and the Browns and the Bengals. But Jerry Glanville, those colors bring back Jerry Glanville to me, and what a lovely way he had of running a team. But anyway, I digress. Very quickly. Oh, not very quickly. This is the important one. Talk to us about the punter battle, Neil. What's going on with the punters this week?
Nothing.
All right. Okay. We'll move on then.
You get to turn. Your turn now. Tell me about George Kittle. What is he up to?
A little bit of Kittle watch. Just it almost seems like he looks like he's doing pretty well with his rehab, and we'll go into more detail when we look at the injury update and where things are standing. But as if George hasn't got enough on his plate with tight end university and going to Taylor Swift's wedding and one thing or another, there was a report this week that he's going to make his acting debut in Dinosaurs of the Wild West, an 8-part Frontier series from filmmaker Luke Spark, creator of the movie Primitive War. So Kittle is due to play, according to this is from Dead Time website. Don't know what that is, but anyway, Kittle is due to play an original character in the new Frontier, complete with his own dinosaur.
Let's go.
Marking the NFL star's first on-screen acting role. So joining Kittle are Jesse Cove from Cobra Kai in a villainous role, Martin Cove again, Cobra Kai, and Rachel Pizzolatto from Mythbusters. But it's by the sounds of things here, it's being pitched of a House of the Dragon meets Tombstone, set in 1879, where humans and dinosaurs built civilization together. This is going to be like going to end up on one of those. It's going to end up on like Shark Tornado. It's going to end up one of those, isn't it?
It is. I saw it. I went and checked. I mean, seeing Martin Cove might be interesting.
Yeah.
He plays John Kreese, right, in the Cobra
Yeah.
Kai and
Yeah.
the Karate Kid movies. So yeah, I checked now. Check today. They got their $500,000. They're funded on
Yeah.
Kickstarter. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
And I just said to you beforehand, I actually saw the trailer for this, and it mentioned George in it, and I was like, just assumed, how is there an actor the same name? Never crossed my mind it'd actually be our George Kittle. So yeah, amazing. Just
I love
yeah,
this. I'm just going to read this
wow.
out. It will see massive brontosaurs haul entire towns across the plains, raptors ridden into battle, and pterosaurs ruling the skies. Oh dear me,
George.
George.
Well,
If anyone can pull that off, Kittle can.
yeah. Well, we know we're going to watch it.
Well, of course we're going to watch it. Absolutely, we need to get on Netflix. We'll see what channel carries it, what network carries it. But anyway, good stuff. Right, Neil's Niner Nuggets all done for the week. Let's move on.
Second quarter.
I've seen memes. I've seen beat writers. I've seen NFL Network analysts. We have to address the elephant in the room about the Niners and the injuries again. You're going to put a much more positive slant on than the national media are and the beat writers, because unfortunately, if you're just a casual fan and you look up the 49ers and what's going on at training camp, all you will see is a raft of, I think at one point this week, there were 20 players held out due to injuries. But come on, Niels, give us some hope. Where are we injury-wise and what's going on?
It's funny you say that. Like, literally, a Seahawk fan walked up to me at work and said, hey, Niners are number one. And I says, we are? And he goes, yeah, in the injury list. I was like, oh, perfect. So it was a good thing. But, I mean, I think the main thing is to look at, we just spoke about it. Like, you're looking at veterans, you're looking at week one. That's the most important thing. Are we going to be ready for Melbourne? So I did some deep research. Well, I didn't. I let the AI do it. Looking at like recovery times, historical NFL averages, that kind of thing. I mean, the main thing is I think we're going to be pretty lucky. I think most of our starters are very likely, I'm talking 90% chance of being back for the week one. So, I mean, you're talking broken fingers, hamstring tightness. There's no tears in here or anything. There's a concussion protocol to go through. There's a calf strain. It's all soft tissue. It shouldn't be too bad. And then there's the likely group, which Nick Bosa falls into. So, but he's even been tabbed at 80%. So he's got a 4 out of 5 chance of making it. So that's not too bad. But I think the main ones are the ones we learned to look at are probably your coin flip players. Yeah. So that's Isaac Guerrero. But George Kittle probably falls into that. Even though he's doing really well and you see him on the sidelines, making week one is going to be a challenge. We spoke about that before with him going to Australia on it. So more likely somewhere dropping in for weeks 2 through 5. And then Vidarian low as well. So we'll see how that goes. But I still expect Juszczyk, Stribling, Evans, Greenlaw, Kirk, even Kalen Black to be back for that first game. I don't see any reason why not.
So if I'm going to play devil's advocate with you, okay, all right, these guys are going to be back for the first game. Like you say, those very likely players, Juszczyk, Stribling, Evans, Greenlaw, Kirk, Black, Carver Willis. Obviously, Carver Willis, depending on how much of an impact he's going to have. But those other names could play a real big part. Then the Jacob Cowan, Keon White, Mustafa, Nick Bosa, Jordan James, and you're likely. So they're the 80% up. And then when we go down, we'll talk about, Kittle, like you say, is a coin flip. Michael Williams, maybe not back till week 5. He's taking a little bit longer. Okay, so devil's advocate. They're all going to be back, you think, maybe week 1, 2, 3, the majority of those players. My concern is within 1 week of training camp, they've picked up these niggles. Mm-hmm. And not all of them, but a lot of them are aging players. How long are they going to last? I mean, are we going to get to week 3 and 4 and these guys are going to be going down again? Because if you look, one of the things Mike Evans was held out with that had trouble all last year was his hamstring. And that's what he's sort of battling with again. Oh, no, it's quads. It's the other side. Sorry, it's a quad at the moment. But I don't know. I'm again, I know you're the ultimate optimist, and I always try to be, but I kind of look sometimes and just go, well, if this is happening after 1 week of camp.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. And I kind of like looked into it. So like, I think already here. So 8 of the Shanahan's 9 seasons, the Niners been in the top 10 of the most injured teams. The worst years, 2020, 24, 25. But in 2023, I think we were the third healthiest team. So
Okay.
it can swing around. But so then I was like, okay, so what causes these injuries? Like you
Yeah.
said, like why do we get them? So I did some stuff into that. And I think the main reason is we're willing to accept medical risk. That's how we've built the team. Let's be honest. We've acquired elite talent, but they tend to be older players who
Mm.
have injury histories, and they tend to play those physical positions. So you're talking Bosa, Greenlaw, Kittle, Evans, even Ricky Pearsall. I mean, he's just been unlucky, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's the strategy we've used. They can still be rational, like healthy versions of like Bosa, Kittle, Greenlaw, all those guys. I mean, you're hoping what Greenlaw's bringing back to like Warner already significantly outperform what they cost the team. And I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's how we've built the team, is that we're going for elite talent that other teams may pass on or may not want to pay. And hopefully we are getting the upside and it outweighs that uncertainty. But like you said, probably going to have to put up with them missing 2 or 3 games during the season.
Sure. Sure. There's still the rumbling about the substation, and I know you're completely 150 million%. There's nothing in it. There's nothing in it. Go on, talk to us. Convince us that there's not.
Well, there's not. I mean, so yeah, there's nothing there. I've done the stuff into that. I mean, that's been there for a long time. Like I said, he was even there when we had the healthiest team. So I mean,
Yeah.
do we give it the benefit for that season and then take it away? I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, you look at stuff like there is bad luck as well. So we use this as an excuse, like, oh, it's bad luck. But a lot of these are like freak injuries almost, so whether it be Warner's ankle and things like that. And they've just been, I think, more grouped in the same position group, which is why it really highlights, like during camp at the moment, it's all the receivers, right? So we're seeing people like you mentioned. I don't even know some of their names, let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
They're making a quick buck coming in,
Uh-huh.
and we're never going to see them again. So yeah, I mean, so you just there, running backs, edge defenders, linebackers seem to be the big groups, but then also it's workload as well. So we have an older core of players. We tend to make the preseason more often than not. So more games, more practices, less downtime in the off season, less recovery time, so on and so forth. And I think you just see a transition for an older team just accepting that risk. And I think that's just where we are. And I think as a Niner fan, you just have to take it. Because those players we've said, we love those players. And Evans now is in that mix as well.
And you're quite right, and it is a fact of how this team has been built. And again, as much as we moan about the injuries, and yes, we didn't have enough to take out the Seahawks, and I wouldn't have thought the Rams either. In the NFC West last year, we were still 12-5 with all those guys down. And even if you have a season where you're still picking up injuries, as long as it's not as disastrous, and we were decimated last year, but still managed to get 12 wins on the board, win a playoff game on the road in Philly, because of the way that team plays and the way that it's next man up mentality, as it is in any type of football. But Kyle seems to just have that knack of plug and play with any guys who come in, particularly like at the halfback position.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is, right? And I think that's why let's just face it, that's why we're so excited about Kalen Black, right? Because he came in that
Yeah,
first week of training camp and it's delivered. And then, I mean, I can't even remember what injury he has. Oh, yeah. Abductor groin strain.
yeah,
And let's be honest, he's probably over exerted himself. His first time in NFL training camp, he just sees an opportunity and just maybe just pushed himself just a little too hard, just tried a little too hard on one play. So who knows? But even then, I'd expect him to see him back in a week and a half, maybe against the Chargers. So
yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, I
And
think we just take even like Garendo. I mean, that's a pretty freak injury. Let's be
it really
honest.
is. Yeah,
So yeah, I think the main thing is though it is an injury problem. It is real. Obviously, we get kind of like laughed at a little bit by the other fans and stuff. The obviously the substation just gives them more fuel to the fire.
of course,
But I
it does.
think it's just the fact that, and maybe it's a drafting problem as well, dude. I mean, maybe because we don't tend to draft like superstars, like young early superstars,
Yeah,
and we've tended now to go after the older players. But you see the Rams do it as well. I mean, they go
yeah.
after the older players, and it's worked for them. So I think it's a fair strategy. And
I
yeah,
I think well again there's more than one way to skin a cat, isn't there? So this is the way that Shanahan and Lynch have done it, and it's been successful. We can't say we're a kind of a Jets type team, a Browns team. We're in the doldrums and struggling to get a 500 season together. We're always there or thereabouts. So you can't question the leadership and management, in my opinion. The only thing I look at down those injuries and about when they might come back. We've talked about the main guys, the starters, not getting playing time in the preseason, Brock and Bosa and Peter and Fred Warner and people like that. But the likes of Stribling, the likes of Carver Willis, Kalen Black, Jacob Cowan, the new guys and the edge players, the Jordan Jameses, they need the preseason to get ready and to actually say to the coaches, look, I'm a valuable asset on this 53-man roster. So they're the guys that I suppose for the next 2 or 3 weeks is more of an issue with the injuries rather than the more established vets.
Yes, and especially with that, we've spoke about how important this week 1 game is. It's opportunity to get a jump.
Yeah, it really is.
So hopefully these guys can see some preseason and hopefully they can just be ready and healthy and can contribute. And we spoke about last week how we're going to approach going to that game differently to the Rams. So we'll see. But, I look around the league as well. There's some devastating injuries around the league going on right now.
Yeah.
So, touch wood, none of the Niner players have had anything that bad. So, yep, I think hopefully, I'm pretty much expect most of the starters to be available week 1. But we shall see.
We shall indeed, and we will keep you updated as things go in the next few weeks over the preseason about how things stand. But yeah, I think, like you say, it's always going to be a thing. Niners injuries go hand in hand. It gives ammunition to the other fans as well, and yet we still somehow manage to make it work. So all kudos, and it even looks like Kyle's on the mend as well. I'm not sure about the Tash though. What do you think about Kyle's Tash?
Yeah, looks I don't know. We know we joked about him. He's probably going to get in trouble with Elon because we said why he wasn't in like self-drive mode. Well, apparently he was. Yep. So I don't know. Oh dear. Yeah, I was like, oh my. So
he's also changed his story a little bit as well from when he first came out and saying that the phone slid between the seats at the front. Now he's saying in the first press conference they did that it slid into the back seat and he turned all the way around and so it's kind of it's a weird one that is, but like he said look, even with self-drive on you can't take your eyes off the road. It's self-drive doesn't mean everything's completely safe. I know when we were in those Waymos in San Francisco, we weren't even driving and we wouldn't take our eyes off the road.
Yeah, that was an experience.
That was an experience and a half. That was so cool. Man, that's a year and a half ago, mate. That's just crazy. But anyway, good stuff. Injuries, they'll always be here, and we always find a way to deal with them. And it's that next man up mentality. All right, good stuff. Right, I'm hoping you've got something about to come for me in this segment based on what I've seen. So he's got a wry smile on your face. Let's hit
halftime.
So in honor of Roger Craig's enshrinement into the Hall of Fame, it looks like my friend out there has got a little Roger Craig trivia challenge for me. Oh, I've seen it. Oh, I've only just looked at it now, so I didn't realize you put the questions up there. So at least I can see the options.
The questions are in there, so you can see the options.
Cool. Yeah.
So just a couple of rounds. So just a warm-up round, which you should slam dunk. Bit of the news around his fortune, his legend of becoming a Niner, then Hall of Fame level. They're just 12 questions, but I think you'll get them pretty easy.
Yeah. First one, not a problem. First one, not a problem.
First one. So which college did Roger Craig attend? USC, Nebraska, Notre Dame, Iowa.
B. He was a Nebraska Cornhusker.
He was. And then, so question 2. In what year did the 49ers draft Roger? Was it 81, 82, 83, or 84? Oh, tricky one.
Well, obviously, Super Bowl 19 was 1984. So I'm going to go, I think that was the Super Bowl 19 was the after Christmas, early 84. So I'm going to go 83.
It was 83. Good work. I know. I didn't know that one.
Did you not? Okay.
No, I thought it was 82. I was like 81, 82 kind of time. Which round?
I knew it was a rookie for Super Bowl 19. I just sometimes can't remember when which season Super Bowl 19 was. Was it the 84 season into 85? Was it the 83 into 84 season? And it was the 83 into 84. So anyway, right.
Okay, good stuff.
Okay.
Next one. So, in which round, and a bonus point if you know which number, was he drafted? First, second, third, or fourth round?
This is a complete guess. I'm going to go based on how the Niners draft running backs even back then. I'm going to go third round.
No, he was second round. We took him
Oh,
pretty high.
yeah.
And a very apt number. We took him with the 49th pick.
Okay,
So
cool.
I thought, you see. So there you go. And then this one. So that was it. So that's yes. That was your warm ups. That was pretty good.
Right. 2 out of 3.
And then now
Yeah,
this one's easy. We've already spoke about it.
yeah.
No question 4. In 1985, he became the first NFL player ever to achieve what feat?
1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving yards in the same season.
There you go. And in that
Okay.
season, how many receptions did he have?
I think
72,
he had
82, 92, or 102?
I think he had 102.
He did not. 92.
Okay.
92, yeah.
Right.
So anyway, so that next one goes into you. So let's see. Question 6. True or false? 50-50, Matt.
Mhm.
Craig actually led the entire NFL in receptions in 1985. So yeah, no, he had 92.
Were 92 receptions the lead? True.
It was true. Can you believe that as a running back
that-
back then to lead the NFL?
That's crazy.
Yeah. But then you
is
think
crazy.
back. I'm not keeping score. You got 2 wrong, I think.
All right.
I'll
I'm
go back
keeping
and do
score.
it. Okay. Anyway, but
I got it.
what's crazy back then is it does make sense because remember back then, whenever anybody broke 100 receptions in a year,
Yeah.
it went mental. Everybody was,
It
oh
did.
my God, it was crazy. So, okay, let's have a look. Craig scored 3 touchdowns in which Super Bowl?
In Super Bowl 19.
Yep. There you go. And then who were the
Cool.
opponents in the Super Bowl? You know this
Miami
stuff.
Dolphins.
There you go. Easy stuff.
Okay, so that was 7 and 8. That's both correct. Okay, cool.
Okay. How many rings did he win with the Niners? I think we mentioned this earlier, so this is going to be easy.
Right. Well, he 19, 23, and 24. He wasn't there to Super Bowl 29 because Ricky Waters was. So 3 rings with the Niners.
He did win 3 rings for the Niners. So, yeah, I mean, proper
Cool.
legend. What major individual award did he win in 1988? So, not the 1,000 season. Did he get NFL MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl MVP, or Comeback Player of the Year?
He's never been Super Bowl MVP. I don't think he was Comeback Player of the Year because he wasn't out. So that's between the NFL MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. I think back then, for a running back to win NFL MVP would have been a huge ask, and I don't remember that. So I'm going to go with Offensive Player of the Year.
You're correct. And in that season, how many yards did he rush for? 1,202, 1,352, 1,502, or 1,652 yards.
I'm going to go C, 1,502.
Yeah. That's
Yeah?
a season, dude. Yeah.
That is a heck of a
1,500
season.
yards? That's wild.
You probably don't know, which is fine. But I wonder how many receiving yards he had that year.
Yeah, I don't know. But
okay, cool. I love how blunt you are. I love how blunt you are sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know,
Yeah.
Matt, and I don't care.
Yeah, that's not happening.
It's not part of the question.
Leave
But
me
in
alone.
all seriousness, that 1,000 and 1,085 to get 1,500 rushing yards in 88. And again, that 88 season, I'm just trying to think. So that 88 season would have been, I assume, then going into the Super Bowl 24 season in winter 1989.
Yeah.
So you've got Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Brent Jones, Tom Rathman. I mean, Mike Wilson, and those guys. So for him to get 1,500 rushing yards behind those weapons as well, wow.
I just looked it up. He got 508 receiving yards, 77 catches, 4 touchdowns. So he got another 2,000 yard season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Amazing.
yeah, no wonder he got it. And then this one here, I only got one of these teams. I missed out on one of them. But after leaving
Right.
San Francisco, which two NFL franchises did Roger Craig play for?
Well, straight away in my mind, I've got the Raiders and the Vikings.
And straight away, you got him correct.
Right.
Good work. I didn't get the
Cool.
Raiders. I
Oh,
got the
okay.
Vikings straight away. I don't know why I didn't pick up on the Raiders. Just a little
The
brain.
Raiders was the one that stood out to me the most. So
Yeah,
okay, that's cool.
interesting.
That's 10 out of 12. I'm happy with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I knew you would do well. I mean, come on, he's your
He
guy.
is a legend. He actually really is. I mean, it's weird because obviously growing up, I idolized Montana and Jerry Rice, you know, and I then played receiver just because my arm wasn't strong enough and I could run and my hands were pretty decent, so I played receiver. But outside of that, yeah, my next favorite player around there was. Well, actually, it's probably John Taylor, which is why I then wore 82 rather than wearing Jerry Rice, because it was almost like, I don't want to be 80. I want to make my own name. I'll be 82. And I think at the time the team I joined, somebody else had 80, so I had no choice. But then behind all that, Roger Craig was the man. And I just remember his nickname of Catfish and those big eyes and the knees pounding up.
High
And,
knees, dude.
oh, man.
So good.
Unbelievable. Brilliant
And I
player.
just saw as well on the NFL shop, because of his Hall of Fame, they've released a 33 jersey for the with the new kind of like in the current uniform.
You see, I'd prefer a throwback one.
Yeah, it's not a throwback. So, but still, I was like, still pretty cool.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm interested. Oh, good stuff. I enjoyed that, mate. That was really good.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Let's move it on.
Third quarter.
Back into training camp we go then, and we're going to have a look in the third quarter and the fourth quarter at the risers and fallers. So we'll start with the offense in quarter number 3. Who's on the rise for the offense?
Yeah, so we'll do it quarterback room. We'll do it room by room. So quarterbacks to start with, and I kind of looked at it as like the 2 blocks. So practices 1 through 4, which we did last week, versus this final week, so days 5 through 9, and how they're looking. But yeah, quarterback room is pretty much largely where it was when we left it. Purdy was looking amazing on days 7 and 8. But then he had a couple of pick sixes on day 9. But I mean, he went 24 of 28 over the previous 2 practices, just tore it up. And as you mentioned earlier, Curtis Rourke, he was the biggest riser.
Yeah.
He was playing well. But yeah, but Mac Jones still looks a little bit kind of like, I don't know, he just doesn't feel like locked in as much in practice as maybe you would hope. Obviously, he's still locked in for the backup role. But yeah, seeing Curtis Rourke in the preseason games should be fun. But pretty much where we left it, I don't think this is a problem room for us. But yeah, pretty interesting. And then who was it? That was Raheem Morris. So he nicknamed him the Layer King, praising his ability to place intermediate throws over one level of the defense, but just dropping in to kind of over the line or over the linebackers and just dropping in before the next level. And yeah, so I think Purdy's looking fire.
Looking pretty accurate on the deep ball as well, Purdy, this time.
Yeah, even with the like you said, even with the star players not there. So yeah, good stuff.
Good. So we're happy with QBs at this point of time. Excellent.
Yep. Running backs. Yeah, fullbacks. I think we slid back a bit, not because of McCaffrey. McCaffrey is I think he's looking better this year than he was last year.
Wow.
He looks faster. He looks more explosive. The reason this one slides back a bit is just because of the injuries. So Kalen Black, obviously got injured. And then, so nothing really about the rising other than, Khalil Herbert had a good camp, but he's probably, I'm guessing, not going to, maybe he'll make the team, if depending on what Garendo and Kalen Black comes through as a running back 3.
Sure.
But Patrick Taylor didn't have a great time either. I mean, I think he put the ball on the floor. So, but yeah, then we got to see what Jordan James does. But this just slides back because days 1 through 4 obviously belong to Kalen Black. But then 5 through 9 completely changed the picture. Black's out, James is out, then Herbert arrived, Garando's still out. So let's just be fortunate that Christian McCaffrey is there. So,
and like you say, the injuries, apart from the Jordan James broken rib, the injuries don't seem too severe. And we should see over the next couple of weeks these guys jumping back in. And hopefully, like you say, Kalen Black particularly. Yeah. Okay. Receivers then.
Yeah, I think this team, we spoke about it. This room, I mean, it's kind of got this. It's kind of the same, but with different players. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody that stepped into it has done well. So obviously Debo's in there now. Um, so yeah, and then even Stribling, I think, even though he's not playing, his stock is rising because I think they've seen where he is. Like, and I don't think his injuries as much, but I think the biggest player on here and made a move was Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah.
He came in, played really well. So he took advantage. And like we said earlier, uh, Purdy was hitting a lot of players on the deep balls. So I think this is good stuff. I think I don't looking at these receivers. I got some of the names down here. I don't know who they are. Honestly,
No.
they're not going to make it. But I think you're going to see Evans, Samuel, Stribling. I think Robinson is in there now at wide receiver 4. Christian Kirk is probably the one who's been most impacted by his injuries because he's allowed other people to get in there. And let's face it, if he was healthy, I don't think we'd have signed Samuel. So
No.
who
No, I
knows?
think you're right.
Who knows?
In-
But I think pretty
interesting.
good, dude.
Yeah, interesting what you put there about Kyle saying, losing Pearsall removed a specific piece of the offense. There's nobody that can replace Pearsall because he's just not wired that way. And he also made clear that Debo is not simply replacing Pearsall because they're such different players.
Yeah.
So almost like a strategy that Kyle had coming in, how he was going to use Mike Evans with Ricky Pearsall has now got to change, and that strategy's got to alter. Then how we're going to use Evans with Debo. So, but a really interesting one saying almost that Pearsall isn't a player you can just replace.
Yeah, because he was really good on those really smooth, deep crossing routes, right? I mean, that's what he excelled at, just coming across all the way across the defense to the other side. You would have thought probably opposite side to Evans. Evans clears out a bit of room for him, but
Yeah,
where Debo is going to be a little bit more, like you said, that wide back role earlier. So, but
yeah.
all in all, I think
Still
the
positive.
skill position is looking good. Tight end, same thing. If anything, we've got better here. I mean, obviously Kittle is still injured. Maybe he wakes week 1, maybe he doesn't. But I think the big here is like Luke Farrell got really good for Farrell. Really big move. He played so well. Usually seen as the blocking tight end, but he's been catching passes, dude. So really good stuff. I think the tight end room's looking good. And obviously, don't forget as well, we got Jake Tonjes as well, who played well last year. So
Still like Jake Tong. Just I loved what I
yeah,
saw from him last year, like you say, and again, Luke Farrell is a strong addition to that room as well. So yeah, good. And then the bit
yeah,
that concerns me most, and it always has, and it probably always will, that O line.
yeah. I think this is where this is the biggest room that got worse. I mean, like we said earlier, as soon as the pads came on, Connor Colby entered camp as the number 1. But now Robert Jones is taking consecutive first team opportunities. And then, Colby's kind of just falling down the pecking order. But I think here we go. I got Chris Forster. He said basically made significant off-season progress, but once the live bullets started in padded work, then some of the technical issues showed themselves. So you're looking at now Trent Williams, obviously Jake Brendel, Dominic Pooney, and Colton McKivitz look pretty locked in for that now, especially with the injury to Fedarian Lowe. But now where last week we had Connor Colby in there, it looks like Robert Jones is now the starter, and so he's leading that. By no means locked in at all. I mean, but yeah, I think that left tackle, and that's what I would look for in preseason games. I think that's going to be the one.
Vidarian Lowe, I know he's injured at the minute. Was he guard or tackle?
He was scheduled to play right tackle, I think.
Okay, all right, cool. So
Yeah.
it's not like we've got a kind of guard in waiting there for when Vidarian Lowe comes back rather. Yeah, and now you've said that, yeah, that does ring a bell about him being a tackle. But yeah, so that right guard, sorry, left guard position, yes, a little bit of a concern. Okay, all right, but
Okay.
all in all, then, what have we got?
Skill positions look real good.
Yeah,
Let's put it that way.
yeah,
Like we spoke earlier, we've got aging veterans with elite level talent. Going to get a few injuries with it, but they're looking good. But yeah, just that left guard on the. But trouble is, left guard, man. If someone targets that on the defense, you're blowing up that interior pocket. Purdy doesn't have no time, so those skill players don't get the ball. We've seen it before.
but
Let's just hope
that's when as well. That's when as well he's going to have to utilize use check there to be almost like the backup left guard, isn't he? And step up there, and then that means Juszczyk can't be used as a weapon out of the backfield. You've done so much work here on the individual kind of players down there as well, Neil. Did you want to dip into that at all, or you kind of
Yeah,
good with what we've done?
I think we're good with what we've done. I mean, I don't necessarily
Yeah.
get too deep, but I mean, it's just there in case any more questions came up. But I think in here, like, I got some stuff on here. But Rourke, I think he's probably one of the surprising one. He made real progression among the backups, and yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe it gives you an opportunity to trade Mac Jones if that comes up as well. I mean, who knows? So, but yeah, good stuff all around. I mean, pretty happy, but I think the defense is doing better.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at that right now.
Fourth quarter.
Offense done and dusted in the books then for this week. And you mentioned, and I think from an injury point of view, for more than anything, defense seems to be more consistent and therefore putting in a bit more work together.
Yeah, yeah, and start with the DL room. So that defensive line, I think we were worried about it last week. I think there's a few injuries, so on and so forth, but players have come back. The rookies are looking real good. But I think they're better. I really do. I think they look really good. And then
Neil, who do you think is the established interior leader? What's the name of the person who you think is the established interior leader on that defensive line?
Odigizua.
Yeah, baby. There you go.
I knew that was coming. Still going to call
I
him
think
Osa,
you're right,
though.
Say again, sorry?
I'm still going to call him Osa. It's just easier.
What I was going to say, I saw a little bit of footage, I think just earlier, but maybe yesterday, and somebody went, that is one big human being.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just actually looked at all of their sizes, their height. I mean, they're all lean, but they're all huge. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, just the development, though, of this week, the two biggest risers, and I don't think you can separate them, Grayson Holton and Romello Height. We mentioned earlier about this new fever back role, and yeah, I think it's crazy how, like, the first week was just all about Osa being good and the height showing flashes. But this week, Holton returned and he just disrupted the one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Height keeps beating the tackles with pass rush moves. Collins was particularly good on 11-11s. West has continued to show the power on the inside. So I think they're looking good. Obviously, Bosa's not around doing too much, but I'm not going to worry about him. But yeah, I'm just really happy with how good. I think Height is looking really good.
He's got some moves. He's not just got one move. He's got an arsenal of different moves that he's putting in there and making it really difficult for those offensive linemen. So yeah, we were high on him when he was drafted, and I think so far from what he's shown, I think we've got every reason to stay high on him at this stage. It's good that that injury we cast off with did just end up being cramps, and nothing more than that. Good to see Grayson Halton back because he went down for a while as well.
Yeah.
So as you've mentioned, the rookie's performing really well. Linebackers then our favourite section of our defense, and I'm hoping it's going to be for the rest of the year.
I know, right? So I think there's no problems here. I think this is going to be just like the stone cold unit of the entire team. I think that the team's going to get energized, the fans are going to get energized. Nick Martin looks really good now in that third linebacker role when he gets to play it. But then the major development here is Jaden Duggar. So he's been playing, some more and more. I think they tried him in that fever backer role as well, and he just looks really, really good. And it just I think that's the biggest thing. It's like we knew Nick Martin was going to do it. Obviously, no Greenlaw. We know Warner's going to do it. But then Duggar's emergence, he's obviously really good. Obviously, I don't think he's going to take out Martin or anything, but having that fourth linebacker for situational football, I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, and like you say, then knowing you've got somebody like Tatum Bethune who kind of ran the defense for a few games last year, and Garrett Wallow and Luke Gifford in there as well. The depth is really good, but Jaden Duggar, he's just another physical specimen, just lean, tall, fast. I think like you say, he can play on that defensive front as well as playing linebacker, that hybrid linebacker you were talking about, the fever backer. Yeah, really exciting, the options that Raheem Morris has at linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, I think Morris mentioned that he might play getting at special teams to start with. Obviously, I mean that's the usual route for these linebackers. But but I would expect him to make a splash play every now and again, just out of nowhere when you need it. and I think that he's the guy.
And then
Cornerback then.
onto the secondary. Then again, if I'm not sure. I mean, you've gone with a raise of cornerback in the nickel corner room here. I'm a little concerned about Ronaldo Green, but the rest of the guys looking real good.
Yeah, Ronaldo, he's probably the only person that's really dropped off from week 1 to 2 in the whole of the defense, honestly.
Uh-huh.
But I think the big move here is just how good Upton Stout looked, and he got
Yeah.
praise off the charts from the coaches. But yeah, I mean, doesn't necessarily mean like, Green's going to lose his starting role if he had it, kind of thing. But Stout's looking really good. Jack Jones as well was a huge riser
Jack
this week as
Jones.
well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know we brought him in. He's going to be pushing for major stats, but I think the big standout for this week in the secondary was Upton Stout, and he broke up plays with Debo, Jordan Watkins. So yeah, he's gone from probably going, as it says here, like Stout has gone from having an excellent camp to potentially being one of the most important players in the defense for Morris. And I think that's just the style of defense that Morris is going to play. So we shall see.
Quick rookie watch on the cornerback room. How's Efficient Price looking?
Price yeah, I mean, so I haven't got much on him here, but he has been getting snap counts. I kind of did a grade of the rookies just out of interest.
Yeah.
And I looked around in the league and I looked at other cornerbacks. He's like probably a solid B minus at the moment. Like really, if you want to look at him, but he has a chance. I think he'll play. Obviously, he'll play a little bit. They always do, but he's doing well. I think he's doing well, and hopefully, we just get to see a bit more of him. Hopefully against the Titans. And
in the preseason, definitely.
He's got
and
a
then,
good name.
If the O line is a concern on the offensive side of the ball, the safety room has got to be a bit of a concern and an increasing one on the defense.
Yeah, probably again another dip. I mean, I think it dipped the same amount as the O line dipped, honestly. But Jair Brown, he's had a few impact plays, but he's also allowed a lot of completions. Now, obviously, we're talking about a good quarterback he's playing against.
Yeah.
But the biggest riser was Cyron Neal. He did really well. But yeah, I mean, I think the thing here is just like we are going to leave our safeties on the island a lot with the way that Morris plays.
Yeah.
So these guys are going to have to play smart football, mistake-free football, probably more than like, coming into the box and making a splash play. They're just going to play mistake-free football, and I think that's what you'll try and see. So, but Marcus Seigel, I think that's how you say his last name. He's been playing really well as well, dude. So I think there's a drop-off just because of a few injuries. Obviously, Malik Mustafa's still injured, and then also, as you said, Jair Brown not the greatest week, but we'll see how it goes. But being trusted in one-on-one coverage over the middle is going to be a tough assignment in this defense. So we'll see what goes on.
We've got to really be picky and kind of critical and see where the weaknesses are. But if you look across the board there, I mean, we've gone from the lowest grade you've got on the defense there is a B plus. And that's the overall count grade, a B plus for the D line, which we kind of thought might be a strength. Then the rest of them, you kind of got at A's and A minuses, so that's looking real good. Harping back to the offense as well, we're still talking around about, what are we? The lowest is a B minus, really, and that's the offensive line as we'd expect. But everything else is at that B plus B level. So as we're picking things apart, we're still looking pretty good shape, like you say. And I know we've not gone into depth here, but we joked about there not being really a punter battle at the moment. But special teams obviously comes from the depth players. But in terms of kicker, we don't need to worry about Eddie P.
Nope.
He's nailed on. But it will be interesting to see what happens with the punters, joking aside.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we'll see how it goes. But this, again, it's going to be preseason, right? It's going to be a battle between probably trying to make sure we get elite hang time. That's the most important thing. Can we flip field position? We spoke about it before, how important that is. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, and I went through and I was like, can I grade this? I was grading it pretty hard as well. I was like, what? But let's face it, it's elite talent across the board. I mean, you're talking Purdy, Purdy, McCaffrey, Evans, Kittle, Trent Williams, and you go there, you got Bosa, you got obviously the linebacker room. So it's like there are elite players at every level of this team.
Mm-hmm.
and it's why we make the postseason most seasons. So
And
yeah,
the problem is, we're talking about the O line being the weak link, but again, as Niners fans, our expectations, even though sometimes we're a little down on, our expectations are always high.
yeah,
You know,
it's
and,
true.
and for some teams to have the seasons year in year out that we have would be astronomically good, and they may settle for that, but that's the history of this franchise. It's what the expectation, it's the standard of this franchise that players, coaches, and us fans, we are looking for that absolute ace in the pack at every position. And this year, more than ever, we've got to find them, and those players have got to step up because of that division we're in. I've heard writers and analysts say, goodness me, that's just going to be a street fight. And the Niners are a real good. I heard Stephen A. Smith this week say, the Niners are a great team. They're a great team, but they're still going to be finishing third in the NFC West.
Yeah, probably. And I don't think it's going to be about winning the division. I mean, that would take a lot. However, and I think we said it before, I think we're in most other divisions, we'd be favourites to win it. But we're third favourites right now. But I think it's making the playoffs, and then anything can happen in the playoffs, right? I mean, that's what you kind of get to. But it's going to be a hard route because you're not going to get the home field advantage. You're going to be on the road. So I think that's the team we've got to build, that road warrior team.
Yeah.
But I think that's where that elite, mentality from these, veteran players comes into play. So, yeah, all in all, I'm pretty happy. I mean, I watched a lot of video, a lot of tape. But yeah, I think those players to look out for is your left guard, and then see what Jaden Duggar. I mean, look, that's the one I'm kind of excited
Yeah.
about, seeing some Jaden Duggar, because he's going to play a lot. Because I don't think we're going to risk in Warner or Greenlaw too much. So
No.
but all good
No,
stuff.
well,
Man.
exciting times ahead. And so that's 2 weeks of training camp gone. We're into the first preseason week. It's Sunday. We're recording this. We're into the first preseason week. The Niners take on the Tennessee Titans on Thursday. There's a joint practice with them earlier in the week, as we mentioned. But football is upon us. As we get into the regular season, we're going to change the format a little bit of the show, and we're going to be bringing you kind of a couple of shows a week, a little bit of bridge, but we'll give you more details on that in the next couple of weeks or so about how that's going to work and when you can catch us, both for like rapid react after the regular season games and then previewing the next week. But we've got loads in store for you. Neil, it's been another exceptional show. Great detail, great depth, great inside knowledge. And I've just clicked on the AOB tab, and I'm glad I didn't do it earlier because I found the results of the Roger Craig quiz.
Yeah, but I was messing around a bit that during the quiz, so I was hiding it. But they were well hidden. Don't worry.
Hey, my man. Thanks for your time again, buddy. It's been great to speak to you, as it always is every week.
Yeah, fun stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in as well. This has been the UK Niner podcast, brought to you in association with the Across the Pond Network. That's week 15 in the books. Preseason football is upon us. We'll wrap all that up and we'll see how things have gone when the bullets start flying for real come Thursday. You have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next weekend.